Wednesday night softball on the SEC Network under cloudy skies in Athens, Georgia. Clean old-fashioned hate on the softball diamond here tonight as Georgia Tech's made the trip up from Atlanta to take on number 13 Georgia here on the SEC Network. We welcome you to Jack Turner Stadium. Caleb Frady, Mary Wilson Avant. Georgia in the bye week last weekend. No conference action. Georgia hasn't played in a little bit. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech dropped a series at Virginia. Midweek matchup. You're obviously tuning for a conference play and a rivalry game too.
Of course, a good old-fashioned rivalry. We love to see it. It's going to be good to get back into the swing of things before conference play.
We take a look back at last year's matchup in Atlanta. Georgia as the road team winning that one 5-2. Lily Backus going the distance, 7 innings, 6 hits, 2-run ball. Georgia's going to need a bunch of performance here tonight from the bat, but out of the circle.
Absolutely. We have different pitchers in the circle tonight, obviously, but we do get to see these bats again this year perform at the highest level.
Series history, 48th meeting all time between these two. Georgia has generally dominated the series 36-11. Georgia Tech just 5-18 in Athens as these two teams usually alternate home and away year to year. And so this year in the Classic City, and it'll be the sophomore Addison Fisher getting the start in the circle here this evening for Georgia. And we mentioned needing a good start out of her in the circle here tonight. Certainly going to lean on her.
Really excited to see her performance tonight against Tech. Addison Fisher is going to throw upper 60s. She's going to 68, 70. She's got a really strong drop that she's been working on getting consistent at moving it on different levels and really keeping the batters on their toes. She also has a really trusted changeup, so that's going to be an impact tonight.
See the batting lineup here tonight for Georgia Tech. Be Alyssa Willer leading things off for the Jackets. And first pitch in there for a strike.
First pitch strike is always a good way to start the game.
Want to start it off on a good note there if you're Georgia, and if you're Tech, you'd love to get the leadoff hitter aboard. 1-1 the count here to Willer, sophomore from nearby Bethlehem, Georgia. .391 average here this season is the sophomore. That one gets in there for a strike. Be Grayson Tucker, Jaden Gailey all batting here in this first inning for the 17-13 Yellow Jackets as the 1-2 is popped up to center field. And Sullivan lets it nestle into her glove for the first out of the inning. Here's Grayson Tucker. Tucker takes a look at a ball there. 1-0 the count to the 5'10 redshirt sophomore from Marietta and Lassiter High School product. Evens things up there with a called strike. 1-1 the count. Mentioned Georgia Tech 17-13 here on the season. 5-4 in ACC play. Swept Notre Dame to open the conference slate. In this 2026 season, then dropped consecutive series on the road to top 25 teams in Clemson and Virginia as the 3-1 gets fouled back. The count's going to move full here with one away.
I like how Addison Fisher is working the count right here. She's utilizing both her drop ball and her rise ball to change the level of the batter's eyes.
Outside half for a called strike 3. Grayson Tucker is punched out on strikes.
That is a perfect example of Addison Fisher being able to use her drop ball on multiple levels. She was able to get it in there as a strike rather than a swing and miss like we've seen earlier in these counts.
Here's the first one to Jaden Gailey, the senior from Livonia, Georgia.
This is someone who had a standout game against Georgia last year.
Ground ball right back to the pitcher. It's a 1-2-3 inning defensively for Georgia in the top half. Georgia will bat for the first time when we come back. Lovers and the native Virginian Madeline Johnson would love to get a really good start under her belt here tonight in Athens.
Madeline Johnson, we're going to see her throwing high 60s. She's going to throw a lot of screwballs, but she's able to keep her body looking the same no matter the location of the pitch or while she's changing speed. So that's going to be a benefit for her tonight.
3.36 ERA for the freshman from the Commonwealth. In her first season on the flats in Atlanta, Kirsten Roos, Jaden Goodwin, and Sarah Gordon will see the plate here in the bottom of the first. Gordon's 11 doubles leading the SEC this season as the first one to Roos in there for a strike, 0-1.
We've now seen first pitch strikes from both pitchers. It's going to be a good pitching day. I can feel it.
As a pitcher, you just know. It feels like a lot of times it is kind of you're on or you're not.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And sometimes there's an element of you get better as you go. But yeah, you got to start out strong.
The 1-1 is popped to right field and in foul territory. Catch will be made for the first out as Hallie Medina over in foul territory makes the catch. One away here for Jaden Goodwin. And hey, that's a good start for Johnson.
It sure is.
Goodwin chases that one up out of the zone, and that one will be sent to second base and fielded clean for the second out here of the inning.
Now coming to the plate, the right fielder, number 7, Sarah Gordon.
And a good play made there at second base by Maddie Duffel. 2 away and the base is clean here. And the SEC double leader, Sarah Gordon, will stand to the box, the 5'6" senior from Lexington, South Carolina.
She is someone who Coach Baldwin has talked about being a leader, not only on the field in her performance, but off the field as well. And that is so important, especially in the middle of your lineup.
Two and 0 the count to her. That one just misses for a ball, 3-0 the count. Kevin Condor calling the balls and strikes behind home plate this evening. Scott Mayer is at first base, and Robert Guest will work third. Taking on the 3-0 there, in for a strike, 3-1 the count. Tyler Ellison, the designated player, bats in the cleanup spot. She's on deck should Gordon find her way aboard.
We didn't have speed on those last two, but it almost looks like that ball is just floating into the zone. A really good off speed.
Challenging to kind of, you're expecting something quick, and that one coming at you a little slow. Here's a little grounder to third, over to first, and they're going to say that it is a safe at first base as Sarah Gordon comes across. That's going to be an immediate challenge by Eileen Morales. And so we'll go to the tape as well here momentarily and get a look
Georgia
at it.
Tech is challenging the safe call at first base. The call is under further review.
So the call safe at first. A good play there by Grayson Tucker at third base to get there in time. That one maybe looked like it had a little bit of backspin, just real slow off the bat, shallow. She had to charge hard.
Yeah, she had to charge hard. The ball was definitely spinning a lot. had that slower momentum, so she had to really go after it and then have a zip of a throw over to first in order to make this play. Good effort on the stretch right there at first as well.
Well, on the replay, it looks like it beat her. And this may be overturned and would be a good challenge there by Eileen Morales in her 9th season as the head coach for the Yellow Jackets, a 2009
After further
graduate.
review, the call has been changed to an out at first base.
A good play defensively there by Georgia Tech.
Retains their challenge.
And Georgia Tech will maintain the challenge. 3 up and 3 down on both sides in the first. We go to the second. We mentioned Eileen Morales, 9th season as the skipper for the Yellow Jackets, 2009 graduate of Georgia Tech, and successful challenge there a moment ago in the bottom half of the inning. And get to hold on to that challenge. Tech 17-13 here on the season, 5-4 in the ACC. Has struggled against the ranked competition that it has seen so far this season, 2-6 in the last 8. But we mentioned Madeline Johnson as a freshman and a lot of strikeouts there in the ACC for a freshman. There's a liner right back to the shortstop as Emily Digby has that one land in the glove for a quick first out.
She almost didn't even have to move for that one. Was able to just post up right there and watch that straight into the glove.
Hard to call that even a half step. It just lifted the foot and kind of put it right back down.
She got in ready position, if you will.
Here's Holly Medina. As you see Digby, Georgia's shortstop there. Both pitchers move quickly here tonight. Already 0-2 here on Medina. Hesperia, California.
We love to see efficient pitching.
Outside Medina, a Cal transfer. After Medina down 0-2, has fought back to go even now 2-2. Fouls that one back and gets stuck in the fencing here at Jack Turner Stadium. Medina, 382 hitter on the season. As our split box showing you the battle between pitcher and catcher. 2-2 is fouled back out of play.
Good job by Medina here, battling with these last 2 pitches, excuse me.
Here's a ground ball to the first baseman, and Novikas will take that one herself. Two down here in the second. That's going to bring up the senior first baseman after the out made there at first base. And it's Addison Leshper, who sends a drive to right center. That ball is going to bounce off the top of the wall. Fielded out there is Sullivan, and boy, in the right place at the right time there was Sullivan able to just grab that bounce off the fence and quickly hustle it back in. That will hold Leshper at first base, but she got a hold of that one.
Yeah, first hit of the game by Leshper. It was a hard one. She really sat on that changeup and was able to drive it out to that Delta decal in the outfield. Sullivan did a good job playing it off the wall right there.
Maddie Duffel, the 5'3" infielder utility player out of East Coweta High School in Sonoya. 2-1 the count here to Duffel. 347 as a freshman. That one comes inside there at the knees, grabs the plate on its way past, and it'll be Deuces Wild here in the second. That one will just miss up high, and count's going to move full here. Second time that Addison Fisher's had a full count here this afternoon. Lined right to third base. And right in the right spot, Bailey Lindemuth into the glove, bottom of the second coming at you. Georgia headman, 4 NCAA tournaments coming into this season, and 3 straight super regionals for this Georgia program, continuing the tradition of postseason softball, going deep at the right time, getting hot at the right time at the end of the season. 20-7 Georgia here so far this season. Georgia on the SEC bye this last weekend, so 1-2 in the SEC after just one weekend of SEC play for the Dogs. Four, 5, and 6 for Georgia here in the second. It's Tyler Ellison leading things off. Senior from McDonough. Chases that one upstairs, quickly behind here, 0-2. Good catch there behind the dish by Reese Hunter. Got ahead 0-2, evened up here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ellison will foul that one off the leg. Probably smarts a little bit on a cool afternoon like this.
Yeah, probably stings a bit more. Especially with the spin that we see from Johnson tonight. Just took that one.
Ellison chases that one upstairs. First strikeout of the contest here for Madeline Johnson.
Beautiful upspin right here. She's been working. She set that up earlier in the count. She worked up, then back down. Then now she's working that for that swing and miss in the first out of the inning.
There's Gabby Novickus. Novickus is a 6-foot freshman from Chicago. Grounded to short, and that one's going to get fielded by the shortstop Emma Simon, and over to first base in time. Two down here in the second. That's will bring up the catcher Marissa Miller.
We've seen a lot of contact so far in these first 5 batters from the Georgia lineup. Definitely looking for them to get more on time, get some harder contact as the contest goes on here.
Georgia's only seen 5 or more pitches twice here so far in the game. Georgia's been jumping on stuff quickly or grounding out. Tony Baldwin looks on there from third base. Popped up. This one's going to travel just into the outfield where Duffel will have it. to complete here in Athens. Athens, Jack Turner Stadium for this in-state rivalry battle. Georgia Tech and Georgia, the clean old-fashioned 8 matchup on the softball diamond here in 2026.
Looks like quite a few students made their way here too from Tech, which is impressive.
Tech usually brings a good little student group to a lot of those Olympic sports. Volleyball always, they travel really well up anytime they play in Athens. And doing the same here tonight.
As an athlete, I know that the softball players really appreciate that support on the road.
And even as a Bulldog here at home, you just enjoy folks being in the stadium watching the game. There's Emma Simon, grounded to second. 1 up and 1 down here in the third. It's 8-9 and 1 for Tech in this third frame. Simon, an Atlanta product out of the Marist School. And here is Abby McKinnis, another local Georgian on this Tech roster in this 9 spot, as this one's bounced back foul off the bunt. Buford, Georgia native, Greater Atlanta Christian. And we actually have a pinch hitter hitting in here in this 9 spot. This is going to be Reagan Wall from JMU transfer from Hazel Green, Alabama. So we'll see her sub in defensively, likely here in this bottom half of the inning, but it's a 1-2 count here. As she'll swing and miss for strike 3. 2 down and the base is empty, and Tech will go through the lineup now for the second time, and it'll be Alyssa Willer. Two 2-0 here to the Georgia Tech left fielder. Hit a fly ball to center back in the first. Ahead here 3-0.
It is always challenging as a pitcher. When you get 2 quick outs, you might relax a little bit. And that's where 3 quick balls might come into play, and then you got to work back.
Probably easy to sneak up on you if you're not careful.
It is.
(3-1) in there for a strike. Count moves full here on Willer. Grayson Tucker waits on deck should we get that far. And that one will miss. And it's a 2-out walk here for Alyssa Willer. She'll be the second base runner of the day here for Georgia Tech. And here's Grayson Tucker. This one foul back out of play. Tucker struck out looking on a full count in the first inning. Fisher works quick here. Foul piece of that one, 0-2. Both pitchers have moved pretty fast here tonight. We'll watch she gets back in the circle. Pitch clock resets at 20 and starts rolling, and she has usually been throwing it before it hits 10. There at 12, she's already in her wind. Now an outside count, 1-2 here. fouls away with a piece there. Evens up 2-2 here. Jaden Gailey, the DP, waits on deck. Swung on and missed for strike 3. 3 strikeouts now on the afternoon by Addison Fisher. We'll go to the Georgia Tech, but one of the ACC's best pitchers here already this season. 6 complete games, 83 1/3, 74 strikeouts, all second in the ACC. That'll certainly pay dividends for Georgia Tech as she continues to develop in this freshman year, get deeper into conference play.
Absolutely, and you can tell that Tech is definitely putting their best arm out there tonight, which shows in the score that we have in this ball game.
It has been a pitcher's duel here to this point. It's been 3 up and 3 down offensively for Georgia here through the first 2 innings. 7, 8, and 9 due up here in the third. This one is sent to center off the bat of Sullivan. And it'll be a fly ball out to Reagan Wall out there down defensively in center field. Delaney Sullivan, Emily Digby, Bailey Lindemuth here in the third. Digby, this one through the hole on the right side for Georgia's first hit and first base runner of the afternoon. It's a 1-out single for Georgia's shortstop.
Up next, third baseman number 55, Bailey Lindemuth.
Just out of the reach of the second baseman, Maddie Duffel there on the ground ball. Here's Lindemuth. That one over the head into right field. First and second for Georgia with 1 out, and now Georgia's going to go top of the order and go through the lineup for the second time.
This is what we mean when we talk about passing the bat. Not doing too much, just a base hit here, a base hit there. We'll see this one again right here. Great job to take this the opposite way and move that base runner around.
And Tony Baldwin going to take time here to talk with his offense, and this has really been the first pop we've seen out of the Georgia bats here now in the third inning. Georgia Tech does have, it looks like, an arm up in the bullpen. Offense under Tony Baldwin. Of course, Georgia always known for offense, big hits, big home runs, the power swings. Here in 2026 already, 42 home runs, on pace to easily eclipse last year's mark. Last year's Georgia team pretty young offensively, lacked for power a little bit. Not the case this year.
Absolutely. You definitely have a lot of new faces this year, but not as many young faces. You've got a lot of maturity, a lot of veterans on this team.
This one is popped up, will stay in play. And into the glove of the catcher, Reese Hunter, for the second out.
Number 2, Jaden Goodwin.
This one to left center. And coming over from center is Walsh. She'll make the catch. So Georgia threatens in the third, but comes up empty. 3 ACC. Stolen bases, 4th, 5th in home runs. And the batting average and runs driven in, both 7 respectively in ACC play. Tech 5 and 4 in the ACC here to this point. And Eileen Morales certainly wanting more out of her squad, but early in the season.
Yeah, as they move deeper into their conference play, she's going to want to see those numbers come up, those rankings come up a little bit. Obviously, it's not all about rankings, but those numbers do help a lot.
Three, 4, and 5 for Morales' Yellow Jackets here in the 4th. As the 5'7" senior from Livonia stands in, Jaden Gailey. Outside 2-1 the count. Had a 13-game reached base streak at one point a season ago. There's a ground ball to second. Over to first in time for the first out of the inning.
It was a nice clean play over there by Roos to play that hop and get the clean out.
Gailey will head back to the dugout. Here's Reese Hunter. Senior from Roswell High School. Transitioning from one flying insect to another, Roswell the Hornets, now a Yellow Jacket. And that one's going to get her. And
we talked about that hurting a bit more tonight with a bit cooler weather. We'll see this one again right here. Roos trying, sorry, not Roos. Fisher trying to work that ball in. She had just gotten that swing and miss with a screwball with a little bit of rise action the pitch before, and so trying to get that a little bit more inside, and ultimately it was a little too much inside.
she gets checked out here. Never feels good. Of course, you always worry about hands and feet, just tiny bones, not a lot of meat there. It can certainly, you can do some damage really quickly. And
yeah, you can tell it feels a bit tender right here.
it appears she is going to possibly come out of the game here. So the senior from Roswell goes into the dugout. She continues to get looked at here, and looks like they are going to make a pinch run move here, and it will be a pinch runner coming out of the dugout. And it's Julia Morisi, freshman from Marietta and Kell High School. So here's Holly Medina. First season on the flats here for Medina. The Golden State native, played her first 2 seasons at Cal. Trio gets in there for a strike, 3-1. In her first 2 seasons at Cal, primarily a role player coming off the bench, as this one is fouled out of play. 3-2 now the count. Has started all but 4 games that she has appeared in this season. Three-two. This one is really well hit to right center. That one's going to find the wall. That one's going to sit. Getting the stop sign is the pinch runner, as Morisi goes into third. It's a 1-out double for Holly Medina. And Georgia Tech's got him second and third with 1 out.
Really good job by Medina right there to just square one up and get a hold of it, heading into the gap. You'll notice Morisi right here doesn't turn third hard, but if she did in that scenario where Georgia missed their cutoff, she could have gotten that run in there.
Now batting for the Yellow Jackets, first baseman number 13, Addison Leshburg.
Here's the 5'8" senior from Thrall, Texas. Addison Leshburg, who had the game's first hit in the second inning. Swings and misses at the 1-0, 1-1 the count. She's a University of Minnesota transfer. And Randy Rolling is up in the Georgia bullpen, beginning to get loose. We talked about her in the open and what she did a season ago against the Yellow Jackets in Atlanta. Lily Backus, excuse me. Rolling has been somebody that Georgia's pitching staff has really had to lean on this year. Georgia's battled injuries in the circle in the early portion of the season, right at the tail end of non-conference play. Started getting healthy right as conference play began, but it really put a premium on the healthy arms. They really got worked heavily. And some of those early season struggles, you put young players in positions maybe not quite ready for as the 2-2 gets fouled away. But now Georgia's gotten healthy. You expect to see a bounce back in performance.
Yeah, and now that you have more arms that can go in the circle, you can spread that out. You don't have to have a long leash in terms of when you pull a pitcher. When the pitcher's not performing how you know she can, you can make that change pretty quickly.
That one gets away from Miller, but able to quickly retrieve it and get back in position.
I feel like Tech's got some momentum right here.
They definitely kind of put a threat. Big pitch coming here on the 3-2 with 2 on. And a good battle here between Leshburg and Fisher.
Yeah, good job by Leshburg right there. You know you're probably going to see a down ball, whether that's a changeup, whether that's a drop ball. So she was able to foul that pitch off, stay in the batting or in the at bat.
Outside, that'll Walker. The bases are going to be loaded with Yellow Jackets here with 1 away. And here comes Chelsea Wilkinson from Georgia's dugout, Georgia's pitching coach. You've been in those conversations. What's being said?
Hey, take a breath. Like, you know how to do this. It's more of a pause so that everyone can take a chill pill rather than speaking about technical, the way she's spinning the ball or this, that, and the other, because you're not thinking about that as much during a game. You're going to just think about your process.
See, the pitch count has been steadily climbing inning by inning there, and this is by far the most pitches that she has thrown in any given inning, now over 20 after throwing 18 one inning ago. You see Rowland continue to warm up in the Georgia bullpen. Bases juiced for Maddie Duffel. That's a couple now that have gotten away from Marissa Miller. And as dire as it feels, Georgia is one pitch away from getting out of the inning, but the tightrope is very narrow because you're also one pitch away from sending a couple home. Duffel lined out back in the second inning, and now the count 3-0. And therefore a strike, 3-1. And if the tightrope wasn't narrow to begin with, now you got to throw some strikes.
Yeah.
Able to get that one fouled away. It'll be a full count here, 3-2 with the bases loaded. As the sun just slightly begins to peek out from behind the clouds. Off to our left here in Athens. 3-2. And that is going to walk in our first run of the night as Maddie Duffel walks on a 3-2 with the bases loaded, and Georgia Tech leads 1-0.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough situation as a pitcher. I'm feeling like what I'm seeing is that she's gotten a little stiff now. Maybe her timing was off to start, and now she's like, oh, I got to throw strikes, and just becoming a little tense, subconsciously or not.
And here's Emma Simon, the shortstop, and you see Tony Baldwin there in the Georgia dugout trying to encourage his pitcher. As a freshman, they really would like her to try to work out of this jam. But Georgia Tech would love to take advantage right here and the opportunity to put runs on the board. And when you get bases loaded, one away, you really want to cash in. One's not good enough. Fisher getting ahead, 0-2. Count now 1-2 to Simon, the shortstop. Popped up into foul territory, and this one is going to just get out of play.
You mentioned earlier wanting her to work out of this as a freshman. These moments in these sorts of games are going to be what builds a pitcher to perform in moments in postseason that are those big moments in postseason.
Ground ball, home for one, to first in time for the double play, and Georgia Tech will get one out of the bases loaded situation, but Georgia with a really fortunate timed ground ball to get the double play on the 5-2-3 double play. Georgia Tech leading 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the first. Bottom of the fourth inning, some of the Tech fans making the trip up from Atlanta to take in the rivalry battle here in Athens this afternoon. As we go to the bottom of the fourth inning, sun beginning to descend. We approach 7 o'clock on the East Coast. 3, 4, and 5 for Georgia here in the fourth, which we approach 7 o'clock, bedtime for my two boys, Cooper, Tucker. Be good for mom tonight. Ground ball back back to the pitcher. That one over her head, and a tough play to make there. Duffel there to back her up. But that high bounce over the head of Madeline Johnson and the speed of Sarah Gordon allows her to get to first.
Yeah, you know that's definitely not the hit that Sarah Gordon wants, but it is sure is the outcome where she is using her speed to get to first. She takes advantage of that bouncer there.
1-0 Tech after Georgia Tech able to get a run and strand 2. In the top half of the inning, had the bases loaded with 1 out. But a ground ball will take 2 off the bases. You got Georgia out of the jam. If you're Madeline Johnson, you'd love to get a quick inning here. Get back to the dugout, get that offense back out on the field. This one solidly hit to right center. That one almost caught out there. That one's going to bobble out of the glove of the center fielder Wall. The throw back in. Georgia's going to plate 1 to tie the game. And standing at third base is Tyler Ellison. And what a collision out there in left center field between Wall and Willer. Good to see Reagan Wall get up, walk away, because that one looked like it stunned her for a second.
Yeah, first of all, great job by Ellison right there to take advantage of a good pitch and really rip it. I thought that could have been gone, but ultimately it wasn't. Yeah, great effort out there by Wall. We'll see this one again, taking that good pitch down the middle. And you see Wall goes up against the wall here in center, but ultimately loses that ball, allowing that run to score. And good job by Ellison to really take advantage of that and get all the way to third.
So here is Novickas with a runner at third in scoring position. And it's going to be RBI triple for Tyler Ellison, scoring Gordon from first base.
Jumping back in it, Johnson with a competitive count right here.
Check swing. Scott Mayer over at first base will say she went. That one grounded foul. That one certainly had the look, going back to Ellison, being a big play either way. That thing looked like it had home run potential for sure. And then it looked like Tech maybe had it squared up to make a catch with the outfielders kind of colliding together, bobbling out of the glove.
Yeah, obviously we can't hear the outfielders from here, but they're going to be talking along the way, on their way to make that play. And there clearly was some miscommunication. Maybe it was a little bit loud. They couldn't hear one another. Ultimately, in those big moments, you have to be able to communicate with someone that you might collide with.
Well, keep in mind, it was Abby McInnes who was listed in the starting lineup for Georgia Tech. As the 1-2 comes in there for a called strike 3. That'll be the second strikeout of the contest here for Johnson. And we'll go back and look at that collision.
You can tell they both felt like they had that ball and were fully confident in that. So neither one of them really slowed down. I think in an ideal world, one of them is going in front of that ball in case it hits off the wall and they can play it off the wall.
You saw Wall cleating like she was climbing it, trying to get there to get the ball.
Got up there pretty well.
And it looked like maybe she had the best bead on it, but as Willer came in and kind of made contact with her there, that one knocked around. And again, what I was going to mention there, McKinnis in the starting lineup before the game, but it's Wall coming into the game defensively in the first. There's a ground ball to first. That'll get the out, but that will also drive in Tyler Ellison from third base. And Georgia's got its first lead of the evening. It's 2-1 Georgia here in the fourth.
Good response by Georgia right here. You get one run scored against you in an interesting situation at the top, and so, but responding nicely, getting some hits, moving those runners around the bases.
There's Delaney Sullivan, the center fielder. Flew out to center back in the third. Ground ball to third. Hustled to first quickly for the out, but Georgia is going to play two and take a 2-1 lead after 4. Pitchers here, 4 innings complete in Athens. 6 combined hits and 3 combined runs, and figure 3 up and 3 down for both teams through 2 innings, 1 over the minimum for Tech in the third. Georgia with 2 over in the third, and then the 4th inning, the offense is starting to get a little bit of traction here, which I would assume you kind of expect to start getting through that lineup a second time.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that as the game continues on, as we get closer to the end of the game, that we're going to see those bats light up a little bit more. Maybe we see different arms come into the circle and see some variety here.
We've seen both teams with action in the bullpen. And it's going to be the bottom of the lineup for Tech here in the 5th to get things started, and Reagan Wall. Appropriate last name for the Georgia Tech center fielder. She got acquainted with the wall out in left center there in the bottom half of the inning, trying to make a really would have been an impressive catch. As this one's going to get grounded to third, she'll use her speed and try to leg it out at first. She'll be retired on the ground out. 1 away, and the top of the order now up for Georgia Tech.
Back to the top of the order now for the Yellow Jackets. That fielder number 11, Alyssa Willer.
Here's Alyssa Willer for the 3rd time tonight. As the sun really starting to peek out from behind the clouds. It's been a pretty overcast, chilly day here, and as the sun begins to set in Athens, emerging from the clouds, and added wrinkle to this game here. Georgia out defensively right now. As you take a look at the outfield here at Jack Turner Stadium, and that infield, you get those creeping shadows coming across left to right.
This is not the ideal time of the day to get the sun either. When it's right there in their eyes, they're kind of battling that sun a little bit.
Three and one to count. You see the shadows creeping across. Grounded back to third base, and Bailey Lindemuth has been busy this afternoon, especially here in the 5th. Back-to-back bouncers over to her. 2 down.
It's her world. We're just living in it this inning.
This one fouled over towards left field. Addison Fisher settling down a little bit more here in this 5th inning after a little bit of a rocky 4th.
Yeah, that's so important. But as a freshman, again, like these kind of scenarios are the ones that are going to build you for later in conference play.
And it's why you play these midweekers. It's why you play, obviously, the non-conference portion of the schedule. But these midweekers are there. Obviously, a rivalry game. You want to win. Both teams want to win the game for sure. But in Georgia's case, putting a freshman out there in the circle against a quality lineup. I mean, this is Power 4 softball right here. One of the better offenses in the ACC. and letting her get prepped for conference play on the weekend. And Tech certainly doing the same thing, getting ready for ACC play. That one to left into the glove of Goodwin. Settles in nicely, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Addison Fisher as we go to the bottom of the 5th. How about our crew bringing you the beautiful sights and sounds of an early spring evening in Athens, Georgia. A chilly one. 52 degrees here this afternoon in Athens. Feels a little bit colder than 52 degrees.
It does. Hopefully this is the last stretch of cool weather before the lovely softball weather happens.
Our crew doing a great job, as always, as we go to the 6th inning, 4, 5, and 6. Jaden Gailey leading things off for Georgia Tech. Blake Hines keeping us in line here this afternoon. Trey Morrow directing for us. Mark Bridges, Austin Simmons on camera as the 2-0 fouled away, 2-1 the count. Hunter Beasley, Connor McDuffie, Clay Malloy. Mark down there staying warm. Austin up here up top with us. Connor out there in center. Clay over there working first base. 2-1 misses, 3-1 the count. Hunter Beasley on our fancy cam up there, high first base. 3-1 gets line foul. Count moves full here. Back in the control room, Michael Feinberg, Caroline Rochelle, Eric Dunn, Sam Walters on graphics, Brady Logan, Daniel Oakes and Kyle Brown working replay here this evening as the 3-2 misses. Courtesy of Georgia Baseball, our crew's work got prominently featured over the weekend and early this week.
Humble brag, that was your work as well.
I'm the goober that
the
talks.
voice.
Hey, I'm the goober
the
that
voice behind it all.
I am the goober that talks. The crew brings you the pretty pictures. Always appreciate everybody's hard work, bringing all the sights and sounds from our various productions throughout the season. After Gailey walks, it's going to be a pinch runner, and Abby McInnes coming in to run, who was in the starting lineup originally this evening.
Makes you wonder what happened for the quick switch early on and then putting her in right here.
There's Peyton Miller, who came in to catch for Reese Hunter. You know, we're bragging on our crew. Brag on sophomore Addison Fisher here this afternoon. Now at the century mark, 100 pitches thrown. She's held a pretty good offense in check here this afternoon. That one's going to bobble out of the glove of Kirsten Roos. Would have been a tough double play, but unable to get the out there at first base. And hey, how about you credit Eileen Morales there, putting the pinch runner on, a little pressure coming to second.
Yeah, and that's not something that you necessarily see from either of those defensive players too. You have a throw that's a little bit lower, a little bit tougher, and then Roos over there not able to quite get it in the mitt of the glove.
Tony Baldwin out of the dugout. He asks for the softball, and that's going to be the outing for the sophomore Addison Fisher. We will reset with a pitching change as Georgia goes to the bullpen for the first time here in the top of the 6th. 101 pitches for sophomore Addison Fisher here on a Wednesday night. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. She did a really nice job. We saw Georgia Tech's offensive numbers here, top half of the ACC, and have held that Yellow Jacket offense to 1 run on 2 hits. And so now a pitching change for Georgia as the right-hander Presley Harrison, freshman from Baxley and Appling County High School, 2.51 ERA. This will be her 10th appearance of the year. Holly Medina will be the first Yellow Jacket to get a look at the freshman right-hander. Tech with runners at first and second here after the walk by Gailey. Peyton Miller reaches on a fielder's choice, and pinch runner for Georgia Tech, Abby McInnes, reaching second. That's going to be a fielding error charge to Kirsten Roos. The 2-2. Outside. And the count full here to the right fielder, Holly Medina. Medina doubled in the 4th. See the pinch runner, Abby McInnes, at second base. Grounded right back to the pitcher through the glove. Toss for 1. That'll be the only play. And that'll get 1 runner cleaned up in scoring position. Tech's got him on the corners now with 1 away.
Up next, first baseman number 15, Addison Leshner.
This is a good opportunity right here for Tech to take advantage of some miscues by the Bulldogs. And with that, Marissa Miller has been a little bit challenged behind the plate. She's had some tough balls to block and to get there. That one coming with some speed. And then obviously you have some obstacles back there as a catcher.
It's not all wide open back there.
Yeah, it's not.
1-1 the count now to Addison Leshper. Single and a walk tonight for the first baseman. Second time we've gotten one stuck back in the fencing.
We're seeing Harrison right here. She's working a lot on that outer half of the plate. That's kind of her sweet spot. She's going to work a lot of screw balls, a lot of rise balls over there.
We saw Tech 0 for tonight with runners in scoring position. A little battle here as Leshper fouls one away on a full count. Good battle here between the freshman pitcher, Presley Harrison. Swung on and missed for strike 3. The freshman will get the better of her there. And of course, immediately Leshper going over to talk with Maddie Duffel there to talk about this new pitcher.
We'll get a replay right here, but this is a beautiful screwball. We talked about her working the outer half of the plate. This is, I think, the best pitch we've seen so far from Harrison. Really good spin.
And here is Maddie Duffel, the second baseman, fouling one away. Duffel, a freshman herself. Tech has them second and third with 2 away as Duffel chases that one upstairs, 1-2. Off the end of the bat, a ground ball to third. To first. And that does it for the top half of the 6th. 5-1 Georgia as we go to the bottom half. Tyler Ellison with 2 of Georgia's 6 hits. They've both been big ones. A triple coming back in the 4th inning, drove in a run. And then Ellison answering back one more time in the 5th, driving in 2 with a double. Drove in one of those runs of 2 runs that were scored in that 4th inning, and 2 of the 3 scored in the 5th. And she has given Georgia's Arms a little bit of breathing room to work with here. Her first triple of the season coming tonight in the 4th inning. And a productive outing for Georgia's designated player. 6, 7, and 8 for Georgia here as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. If you're Tech, you're looking to get out of this thing as quickly as possible, give that offense an opportunity to try to bring the Jackets back in the 7th. One and one count here to Miller. 0 for 1 with a sacrifice that drove in a run. That ball just foul. Kenley Hillary. And if the numbers are accurate, that's her first career triple, as we talked about that. And here's a nearly really would have been an amazing catch out there in left field in foul territory. But, oh.
I think we had a tumble.
Had a equipment malfunction.
Yeah. That looks like a complicated chair, too. I won't lie. But maybe he thought that the ball was about to hit him.
Oh, wow. Look at that chair. I may be showing my ignorance. That's some amazing technology there. Let's get a look. Yeah. Oh, no.
Yeah, momentum was just a little far back. Fell right over.
You know, that rocking capability is really good until you lean too far back. And
look, he's chilling again.
That's a comfortable chair until it's not.
I bet that's not a nice setup in the sun when it gets hot.
My friend, I hope you've got friends watching at home.
They can poke fun at you.
There's a little dribbler to third. Woo, what a play there at first base by Leshper. That one wanted to come out of the glove. Just barely held on to that one. Watch this ball.
Yeah, good job by Leshper to play that bounce right there. and keep it in the glove.
Miller is retired. And Delaney Sullivan. Lishburg, the senior first baseman for Georgia Tech. Right back to the pitcher on the 0-1. Two up and two down here for Georgia offensively in the sixth. That'll bring up the shortstop, Emily Digby.
Emily Digby.
Digby with the home run in the fifth inning. He's got a single on the day as well. Sharply lined foul.
Digby, as Coach Tony Baldwin talks about her as one of the more quiet leaders on this team, and it's so important you see those leaders, both the more quiet and the more vocal, spread out throughout this lineup.
Line to third, 1, 2, 3 in the sixth. Georgia Tech down to its final 3 outs as we go to the seventh. In a 5-1 game that Georgia leads here in Athens in Jack Turner Stadium. Home team has been making the home fans happy here tonight. And Randy Rolling, the junior, will come out of the bullpen. We mentioned Georgia didn't have a series over the weekend. They didn't even play non-conference over the weekend. No games. So Georgia hasn't played since last week. Randy Rolling, you normally see her on Friday nights in the circle for Georgia, wanting to get some innings here.
Yeah, absolutely. You're definitely going to see Randy Rolling in the circle this weekend, and so this kind of serves as a little bit of a warm-up almost for it.
8, 9, and 1 for the Yellow Jackets as Georgia Tech down to its final 3 outs here. And it's Emma Simon, the shortstop, who is 0 for 2. Check swing. Scott Mayer at first base says she did not go around. 1-1 the count here to Simon. Popped up. Will it stay in play? And it just sneaks over the net.
Look, all those little girls down there have gloves on.
And look at that.
Get out there, try to catch that ball. They're certainly pumped to get the ball after.
Got the shades.
Yeah.
Of course, Georgia goes and asks for those balls back. They get a card to redeem for a free food item or something, but there's a trade involved, but Georgia wants those softballs back.
Yeah. They're a little expensive, especially game balls.
Before she has to give that one away, enjoying the moment there, holding that one in the glove.
Oh, she's getting it taken away. Actually, the trade. Excuse me, the
There
trade
we go.
is happening.
It's like a Texas Roadhouse gift card. That's not bad. Those rolls would hit really good on a cold night like this. 3-2. This one's popped up. To first, one away. Reagan Wall, the 9-hitter here in Boy, she just really would love to get on base here, flip the lineup over, give that top of the lineup the opportunity to try to get something going here in the 7th. And it's a one-pitch ground out for her, and Georgia Tech down to its final out. Six-3 ground out for Wall. She's 0 for 3 on the day. Now back to the leadoff hitter, Alyssa Willard. 0 for 2 with a walk tonight is the Georgia Tech left fielder. Georgia won this matchup last year in Atlanta 5-2. Willer holds back there on that one, 1-1. She's grounded out once, flown out once, and walked once. Here for an 0 for 2 evening. Grayson Tucker waits behind her, 0 for 3 on the night. Swung on, got a piece of it as it landed in Miller's mitt.
Rolling has come in tonight just calm and collected. She's definitely spinning the ball well, as you can see by that last pitch in a swing and miss.
Rolling on the outside half there, 2-2. '48th meeting all time between Georgia and Georgia Tech on the softball diamond. Fouled away. Two from Rolling. And the count full here to Willer.
You could still hear Georgia Tech's dugout. They have not given up hope in this last out.
You never know when you're going to be able to get a rally, get a 2-out rally going past the bat a couple of times, and then you put a little pressure on the defense, on the pitcher, and never know what can happen.
No, 4 runs can come very quickly in the game of softball.
Willer has worked the count full. Here's the 3-2 from Rolling. And that one a strikeout throw out there after the ball bounces out of Miller's mitt. And the 48th meeting all time between these two will go to the Bulldogs, as Georgia will defeat Georgia Tech 5-1 here in Athens. A masterful pitching performance from the Georgia pitching staff here tonight, led by Addison Fisher. 2 hits for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, really working as a staff tonight. You love to see different arms coming out, seeing different looks at the ball, different speeds, in order to have a successful outing.
Georgia will get back into conference play this weekend as Mississippi State comes to Athens. Georgia Tech will be at home to take on number 20 Duke in ACC play. For our entire SEC Network crew, bringing you the sights and sounds, doing a phenomenal job as always from Jack Turner Stadium in Athens. Mary Wilson, Avant, Caleb Frady. So long from Athens, Georgia. A winner over Georgia Tech, 5-1.